What's up, everyone? Jason Gilbo here at JGilbo11, breaking down pitching for tonight's slate. Got 7 games. Weather doesn't look to be too big of an issue. Might see some rain in St. Louis as we go on throughout the day, but for the most part, should be pretty solid. Overall pitching, definitely have some decent names up there. Some guys not performing up to par like they have in the past, but definitely some options we can use in cash and GPPs tonight. Looking at top dog, for me, it's Robbie Ray here. It does give up a lot of hard contact, which is always a concern, but walks can be an issue at times, but the 30% strikeout rate really backs him up here. 13.3% strikeout swinging strike percentage. Those are both second to Max Scherzer on the entire day, so he leads the night slate in those departments. Look at him. Can be home run prone at times, 1.39 horns per 9, but moving to Petco Park against this Padres offense that's just bottom of the league against left-handed pitching. I'm not particularly worried. They just have a 114 ISO, 22% strikeout rate, 27% hard contact rate. The only one that you're really worried about in that lineup is Will Myers at this point. They have one of the lower run totals. Diamondbacks are still a favorite, so I like Ray. I think he's a solid option. Definitely playable in all formats for me. Then we move to another guy, Zach Wheeler. I like quite a bit here. Has started to kind of find his form, find his rhythm, which is encouraging to see. Back-to-back games, allowing just 1 earned, has 10 strikeouts in that span. Has put up a couple of decent performances of late. His only real struggle was against Washington. In Washington, just did allow 1 earned, but didn't have it. I was walking a little bit too many guys. Has had a couple of big walk games, but look at this Angels lineup. It's absolutely awful outside of Mike Trout and really Cole Calhoun, and Calhoun's even a stretch. Pujols may or may not be back in the lineup. They're projected for under 4 runs. Mets are home favorites. Wheeler, not a big strikeout guy. But if you can definitely hover around 4 or 5 and go 6 innings of clean ball, I'm definitely okay with it. He does have a 22% strikeout rate, so it's not bad. 50% ground ball rate is good to see out of him as well. So I don't mind Wheeler. He's a fine option in all formats. If we're looking elsewhere, Carlos Martinez, I definitely don't mind. He's a little expensive. I wish he was a little bit cheaper, but I get the play because he does have the significant strikeout upside. We've seen 7 strikeouts in each of the last 2 games. I've already seen a couple double-digit strikeout games this season. Even when he gets into trouble, he's been over 20 DK points, which is nice to see out of him. And going up against Jeff Samardzija, it's not a gimme win, but he is a favorite. You look at this Giants offense against right-handed pitching. They are not good. They don't strike out a ton, 19.6% against right-handed pitching. They do have a 281 WOBA, 124 ISO against righties, so it's definitely not strong. Martinez should be able to up the K percentage just a little bit for this Giants team, 27% on the year, 11.3% swinging strike percentage. So I definitely don't mind using him. If I like more bats, I'm willing to come off of him, though. He's not a must play for me on this slate. Elsewhere, though, you do have cheap guys. I don't mind Urias against this Marlins team that's really struggling on the road. Urias has been a little bit up and down so far in his career, but I don't mind him in GPPs. I won't use him in cash games, even with Vegas telling me what it is. I prefer other options, but Urias is certainly still strong. Marlins against lefties, that's going to kind of dip and down a little bit, but they're not bad. You just have to watch out for guys like Ozuna and Stanton. I actually do like Perdomo here on the other side of this one in Arizona. 7K on DK, I don't mind the price tag. Perdomo's a guy who strong, 70% ground ball rate, 24% strikeout rate. He's been actually excellent. This is a guy who's actually been a little bit unlucky. 344 BABIP, 2.95 FIP. I do think this guy is actually going to be a solid starter for San Diego. And you look at Arizona, their numbers drop off on the road big time, which is is one where we target. We didn't see it last night, but that was Jared Weaver, so we give the exception there. But Diamondbacks, I mean, against right-handed pitching, the strikeout rate is high, 23.6%. Their hard contact rate drops off a ton on the road. So Perdomo's a sneaky guy. I don't mind going back to the well there. I think he's a reasonable SP2. I think he's a logical GPP pivot on FanDuel against the grain there. So Perdomo's a guy I'll definitely be looking to use tonight. And I'm kind of hoping people stay away. Justin Verlander, got to talk about here, has not put in a lot of good starts this season. Strikeout rate down, just a 9% swinging strike percentage. Home runs, haven't been an issue, but he's just been kind of getting battered around. 1.43 whip. Ground ball rates low. Hard contact rates up. I mean, this Rangers offense isn't bad against right-handed pitching, but they're more middle of the road. They have that, boomer bust potential. I don't mind Verlander in a GPP tonight just because it is a smaller slate, and I think people are just kind of done with him. But he's definitely not my favorite play on the board. Wind's blowing in there in Detroit, so it definitely does help. Texas implied total under 4. So I'll definitely consider using him just in tournament fashions, but still a little bit pricey for me. I wish the price tag would come down. Other than that, it's for the most part, if you're building just 1 or 2 lines, it's a stay away situation. Kevin Gausman catches my eye here on DraftKings, 5,900. FanDuel, I'm not really looking to use him. Flashed that good game against Washington, then went right back out and struggled against Kansas City, which is a little bit concerning. For the most part, this guy's been awful this year. Not a bad matchup against Toronto. Winds blowing in. This offense starting to kind of click a little bit here, just more pesky one than anything. They're moving up the list, not striking out as tons as they were before. Gausman, I mean, if you want an SP2 and kind of hope for that 15 and 20 DK points, I'm okay with on DK. That's the only way I can see using him tonight. So Martinez, Wheeler, Ray are definitely cash game playable tonight. GPPs as well. If you're looking elsewhere, Gallardo, Urias, Verlander, GPP worthy, Gausman as well. So definitely guys I'll consider. We do have a decent slate, but those are the cash and GPP options for tonight's slate. And catch you guys next week.